Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully today will be a little bit more organized than yesterday was, or last night. If you remember, we started the one sheet wonder and we created 5 different cards. That's 4. What did I do with the 5th one? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Let me pick it up here. So we created these 5 cards, all right, with the one sheet wonder. And let's just pull out that template again so you can see we had our 12 by 12 and we cut it in 3 4-inch sections, and then each section we cut one at 1.5 inches, 5 1/4, and then cut it at a diagonal, and then 5 1/4, 4 3/4, 3 1/4, 4, 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 1.5. All right. So that was our template, and we created the first 5 cards. So today we're going to create the second 5. And hopefully, like I said, it'll go much smoother. So let's see what we got here. We're going to work with the same colors: Lost Lagoon, Basic White, and the what was it called? Flight and Airy Designer Series paper. All right, let's pull this in. Hope everybody's doing good. I've been running hot and cold today. I have my sweater back on. I was warm, and then I got so hot. All right, so we're going to start with 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. All right. So that is our card base. Then we are going to layer it up with a layer of Basic White. I believe it is 5 1/4 by 4. Let's just make sure. Yep. So what we're going to do to this is we're going to put a sentiment underneath. So let's get something that we did enjoy. Let's do it again. Enjoy your day. And I think it's already out. And we're going to stick with the Lost Lagoon. All right. So let's ink it up. And we are going to try to get this on as straight as can be. And it's crooked. So let's try it again. There we go. That's better. All right. So we have Enjoy Your Day. Hey, Karen. Hey, Do. Oh, that's fine. Hi, Liara. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take that layer. Let me grab my plate. And we are going to run it through. And I just grabbed any old embossing folder. So you don't have to be, you don't have to have a special one. And I am going to take this and run it through my cut and emboss machine. All right. So we stamped our sentiment first, and then we ran it through. And then we're going to use one of those 4 by 1.5 inch pieces of Designer Series paper, and we are going to use a matte layer 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 of Lost Lagoon. Now, it's very, very subtle, this Designer Series paper, and I'll show you in a second. Let me just clean out my clog. Let's get this on. So with some Designer Series paper, you would have to, come on, be mindful of the design on the designer series paper. All right, you'd have to be a little mindful, because if it's directional, then you want to make sure that you have your card base in the right direction. Now, looking at this designer series paper, you can see that there are little birds on here. So for it to go this way, some of the birds would be a little crooked. All right. And we're going to take this and our card base, and we are going to adhere this to the front of our card. Now, this is very, very simple, right? So let's add this to the front. I'm going to make sure it's on here straight. Now that postage has gone up again, we should be a little mindful as to the heaviness of our cards. It's making them with lots of layers when you're going to hand it to your recipient is perfect. But when you were mailing, sometimes our postage can get pretty expensive. All right, so let's take off these papers, pull our card base in, and we're just going to take this and add it to the front of our card. And then let's add some. I'm going to add some of these. I'm trying to use them up. We know they're retired, so we try to use up some of these embellishments. Just dress that up just a little bit. All right, so quick and easy, just to send a note to a loved one or a friend. So for the inside, we have these little flowers, and I'm going to stick with these little flowers from the Thoughtful Expressions. We don't need to dress everything up so much that we can't, thinking about what you're going to create. Sometimes we get carried away, and sometimes simple is just as good, right? So let's open this up, add it to the inside of our card, and there is our first card. Let me just see if I can't get this. I have some glue stuck here. Let me clean that off. My card keeps getting stuck to it. A little noisy. All right. So let's try card number 2. And these are all going to be nice and simple today. So for our second card, we have 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 again. This time we're using the designer series paper that's 5 1/4 by 4. And we are just going, and you could use the other side if you wanted, at least on this paper. And we are going to just lay that right on the front of our card. All right, quick and easy. And then I ended up cutting out a deckled circle. And this deckled circle is 3.5 inches. And then I did one in the basic white, and that's 3 1/4. So we're going to take this deckled circle and we're going to pop it up onto the front of our card. So let's grab some dimensionals. We were going to try to go walking today, but Bill doesn't really feel great. So I am going to see if I can get an appointment for my nails today. All right, so I'm going to put it a little towards the top because I want to tie a bow and add it to the front of this card. So let's just grab our ribbon. I lost my scissors again. My room needs cleaning. I've been taking out and getting set up to sell all my retired things, and my room is a disaster. There's lots and lots of things retiring this year, and I usually save what I love. That didn't work very good. And this year, there's not really that much I want to save. All right, so our bow is done. Let's pull in our piece of basic white. What are we going to do with this? We're going to stick with the monochromatic. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper so we don't get it all over. And I believe, yes, he's right here. I'm actually going to use the hummingbird, and I'm going to use the arc. I call it the arc of flowers, okay? And I am going to ink this up, and you can see that it has a little arc on it, and I am going to place that at the bottom of this circle. All right. And then I'm going to grab our hummingbird and fit him on this same block. I'm using the same color. I'm going to ink it up, and I am going to add him. Let's see. I'll add him right about here. Let's get rid of the scrap so you can see. All right, so we can add it. I'm going to turn it like this. Let's grab some more little gems, and I'm going to use these green again. All right. I usually like putting them in threes. Let's add this one right about there. All right, so we have our image stamped. I'm going to get some glue, and I'm going to use it sparingly so it doesn't show through. And I think I'll keep it so the little hummingbird is right about there. And I'll grab a glue dot, put it right here at the bottom, and add our bow. All right, so there is another quick card. We'll pull in our bottom, our inside, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and we will use that arc of flowers that I like to call it. And this time I'm going to put it up here at the top. And grab our seal. And we'll add it to the inside of our card. I saw a little spot. Here it is. All right. So there is card number 2. Well, actually, it's card number 7, but today it's card number 2. All right, let's jump to the next one. We're going to start with a basic white 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. And then we are going to use the piece that is 4 3/4 by 4. We are going to layer it on a piece of Lost Lagoon which is 5 by 4. All right. So it's going to fit on perfectly side by side, but it's going to have a little bit of an edge at the top and the bottom. Okay. So we're going to add our glue. We want to center it top and bottom. I might have to trim this a little bit. Let's check to see if we do. Yep, just a hair. Let me just trim this a hair. All right. Okay, so it's 4 inches wide, 5 inches long. And we're going to grab our piece. Now, this is going to fit right on the front of our card, just like this. All right. And you can decide whether you want it this way or this way. I'm going to actually do it portrait, only because of the birds on the designer series paper. Nope, my stomach's growling. All right, so we have just a piece right on the front. And then we have a piece of Lost Lagoon, which is 1 5/8 by 3 1/4. And then 1 1/2 by 3. All right. Now this one, how shall we do it? This way? I think we'll put it on this way. Thanks, Karen. Did you get new blades for the trimmer? No, I did not. I think I have some, and I have to find them. That's why I haven't ordered them yet. Let's see. We have to find a sentiment that is small enough. I'm just looking through the cards that I have, the stamp sets that I have sitting here. I want something that is taller rather than wider. So let's see what we have. Let's see. Bear with me while I look. I was looking for my perennial postage. I believe. Let's use this. Let's use this. We'll use Nature's Prints. And we'll grab the hello there. It should have a sticker on it. So we'll make sure that it is on here straight. And grab a block. All right, so we have hello there. And I'm actually going to grab another stamp. Where are you? I do not see it. Where are you? All my stamps are, oh, here it is. Jeez, right in front of my face. All right, so we're going to do the hello there because it'll fit perfectly on there. But I first want to check to make sure, not that it's going to make any difference. Let's make sure that it is. Okay, so it looks like it is on there pretty straight. So we're going to put our hello there right about in the center. All right, just like that. And we're going to keep our Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to grab the stamp that has the little flowers and the leaves. And I am going to actually ink it up and stamp off and add it to the bottom. And then I'm going to turn it and ink it up, stamp off, and add it to the top. Just so it doesn't look so plain. And let's add some seal. And so it doesn't stick down right away, I'm going to add a little bit of glue so it gives me a little wiggle room. And we're going to mat it. So you can see, even with the seal, I have a little bit of wiggle room. And we're going to pop this up. Let's do it this way. All right, we'll pull our card back in. And we're just going to set this right in the center. Let's grab a few little embellishments. I think I'll put one in this corner. And I'll grab one and put it in this corner. All right, just quick and easy. Let's grab our center layer, which is 5 1/4 by 4, and we'll utilize that same image. And we'll put it on the 2 corners. And then we can add this to the inside of the card. All right, so there is card number 3 or card number 8. And let's grab card number 9. That's the inside. All right, so card number 9, we have 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. This time we're using the 4 by 1 1/2, and it doesn't look like it is. Let me just check to make sure this is 1 1/2. All right, so this is going to fit on with a little tiny edge. So let's add some glue. We're just going to add this together. And then we have a piece of basic white and a piece of Lost Lagoon. Now our basic white is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay. And we're going to utilize that arc again. And we are going to ink it up. We're going to stick with our, I'm going to center it as best I can. All right, so it's centered. And then we're going to grab that hummingbird again. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I should check. I think the hummingbird is carrying over. All right, so let's ink up the hummingbird, and I want that little beak to be a little bit near this flower. So we'll put it right there, okay? And I am going to clean up that ink so we don't get it all over. And then we need a sentiment. And I am going to grab, let's see, what is this one? Sometimes there are no words. Let's do that one. I'm going to layer it in here so it's pretty straight. And I'm going to ink it up, and I'm actually going to stamp our sentiment right there. All right. So let's grab our 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and we're going to add some seal. And add this to the layer. Trying to get it as straight as we can. And then we're going to grab that piece of designer series paper, and we're going to add some glue. Look what I did. And we're going to add this right underneath that flower. And let me turn this so I can get some of this ink off. And this is a sand eraser. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So we have our image stamped. Let's grab some of our ribbon. I'm going to grab some glue dots. And before we add this to the front of our card, I like to add some glue dots to the ends. You know, I don't like to wrap my ribbon and tie a bow. So I cut a short piece, and we are going to actually wrap it around this bottom piece here. All right, just like that. Let's grab another piece, and we'll tie a bow. So does anybody have anything special planned today? I don't. We have leftovers from last night, so dinner is ready. I just have to put on some more potatoes. And just gonna think about what we're gonna do for Mystery Card Monday. I like to be prepared, so I'll start thinking about that today. Oops. All right, so here's our bow. So let's grab another. So I'm going to just add my bow right about here. We want to fluff up those little corners. All right, and then we can, now you could pop this up if you want. I'm going to just adhere it to the front. Let's make some room. So even if you don't do the one sheet wonder, if you have small little pieces of designer series paper, this is perfect. All right. So let's just add a few of our little gems. I'm going to add it to the corner there and the corner here. All right. So there is card number 4 or 9 from last night. Oh, I forgot the inside. For shame. So let's just grab that hummingbird and let's just grab a scrap. Let's ink up the hummingbird and we'll just put the hummingbird right there in the corner. Just wipe that table. So we're just going to pull that hummingbird, no flower, just the hummingbird, from the front of our card. All right, so there we go. All right. One last card. This is the one I almost forgot. So this time we are going to be using the last piece from our designer series paper. And it's actually a 4x4. And we're going to mat it on a layer of 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. We have basic white, 2 pieces, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and our basic white 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Now this one I'm going to do a little different. All right, so we have that. I am going to grab a piece of basic white, and this is actually 2 inches, and it doesn't matter how long right now because I am going to stick it in this punch, and this is an edge, as you can see. Okay, and we are going to put it sideways, and we're going to do Your Kindness Warms My Heart. So let's put that right about there. All right. And we're going to grab these smaller flowers. And I'm actually going to stamp and stamp off. All right. We're going to close this up. I am going to trim this down. So now it's just a business card size. It's about 3 1/2 inches long. We're going to pull in our card base. And we're going to layer on a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 piece of designer series basic white. Now before I do that, let's just see. Yep, let's just add this to the front of our card. All right, so it's just a matte layer. And our designer series paper, this is 4 1/8, so this is going to go right to the edge again. And I just want to check. It's a little off, so let me just get it down to 4 1/8. All right, so we're just going to add some glue and add this. We want to center it as best we can, lining it up with that basic white that we just put down. All right, and then our designer series paper, and I want to just check out my birds, make sure they're facing the right direction. And this is going to be centered, just so we have a little border, just like that. All right. And then we're going to just take this tag that we quickly created, and we're going to add it to the front of our card. And I'm going to actually add it crooked. And we're going to grab some embellishments and add them to our corners. Now, if you wanted to add a bow, you could add a bow, right? Let's grab our inside. We're going to use that same flower. And I'm actually going to stamp it in every corner this time. Grab our seal. And add it to the inside of our card. All right, so another 5 quick and easy cards. Some card making. Awesome. I need to clean too, Karen. I have a sink full of dishes in there that I have to do. All right, so another 5 cards. Just very plain and simple, but they do the trick, right? So there we go. So I will get all the measurements for these cards on my blog in the morning. The first 5 cards are already on my blog, and I will see everybody on Monday evening at 7 o'clock for our mystery card. So as you can see, 38 minutes, and you got 5 new cards. All right. Yes, monochromatic. It's perfect, right? So have a great day, everybody. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.